We have multiple New York Jets updates as Aaron Glenn is figuring out his staff for the New York Jets team, and this could have huge implications moving forwards, as this will decide a lot about what the Jets roster looks like, a lot of the Jets culture, and just really how this Aaron Glenn tenure will be affected by the guys who he brings in. And we're going to break all this down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jets Digest. It's Chris and Matt here. And if you guys enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe. If you're part of the 79% of viewers who are not subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe. We have a bunch of fun stuff going on here. We have way more to come, and you guys don't want to miss out, especially with the offseason coming up. We're going to be pumping out so many videos. You're going to look at us and just truly be overfilled with hatred or love, depending on your feelings for us. I don't like Matt personally, so that's out of the way. But look, obviously Aaron Glenn becoming the Jets head coach was exciting because one of the reasons was we'd see him bring in guys who could be very, very helpful to the team, be culture builders, be guys who know how to turn around teams. We trust Aaron Glenn heavily, and with that trust comes trusting who he's going to bring on in his staff. We obviously have already seen the Jets bring in a defensive coordinator in Steve Wilks, but as Zach Rosenblatt mentioned, he's starting to fill it out outside of Steve Wilks and also special teams coach Chris Banjo and offensive line coach Steve Hyden. And there's going to be more to come throughout the weekend, and some names that everyone should keep an eye on as potential additions are Tanner Engstrand, David Blough, the former quarterback, that David Blough, and Chris Harris. Not that Chris Harris I initially thought it was.
So I'm going to Tanner Engstrand, David Blough.
David blows at being a quarterback. It's why he's no longer in the NFL. Yeah, David. How does it feel?
He was pretty terrible.
Exactly. That's why David blows.
All right, so getting into who these guys actually are. Tanner Engstrand is currently the offensive pass game coordinator for the Detroit Lions. Has that obvious Detroit connection with Aaron Glenn. Very exciting offensive coordinator hire, if you ask me or Chris, because he's involved with an offense that is very successful in the league and knows how to adapt to new defenses. They've clearly figured out this new cover 2 defense that everyone in the NFL is shifting to. We see every single Sunday, Amon-Ra St. Brown going crazy on people. We see Jahmyr Gibbs racking up yards. We see their mid tight end, Sam Laporta, going crazy, even though he's mid. Fight me in the comments. Everyone fight me in the comments. Trey McBride's better. Waymo's just fast. The point is, he could be the next offensive genius if we bring in Tanner Engstrand. That's why I am extremely excited for that potential offensive coordinator hire. Him or Nick Haley are my choices to be the offensive coordinator for the New York Jets because they're guys who have seen offense being called at the highest level. Maybe I know they don't call it themselves, but they are the next best thing in terms of finding the next guy who could be the guy. And I want in on one of these high-level offensive coaching staff, coaching trees. That's where you find the next big offensive guy. Without taking a risk, we're not going to be able to find an offensive coordinator who can coach up an offense who's going to be able to take down the Buffalo Bills, going to be able to keep up with the Miami Dolphins, we know the Patriots have a ton of money. They got Drake May, who looked pretty promising as a rookie. They're going to spend a boatload of money on T. Higgins. They are going to do whatever they can to get that offense going as well. And I don't know about y'all, but I've not had enough of beating the Patriots yet. We got to beat them more.
Especially
need more
with,
offense.
With McDaniels back as well.
Dude, McDaniels is so weird.
But they're going to pay money because he's back.
He's such a good offensive coordinator, I want to say. What's crazy is how bad of a head coach he is.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so, and the next guy we got here, David Blough, as a quarterback's coach is what Zach Rosenblatt is telling us. You may know David Blough as the guy who got cut from Hard Knocks of the Detroit Lions. Again, he has that Lions connection. He was one of the deep backups in 2023, where Aaron Glenn was also on the Detroit Lions.
He played on Thanksgiving.
Did he?
I believe.
Was that 2022? I think you're right, Chris. I unfortunately don't have. Yeah, I don't have David Blough's entire playing history in front of me, and I don't think anyone needs that.
Well, I was gambling.
What's important is right now he is the assistant quarterbacks coach for the Washington Commanders. Yes, those Washington Commanders who just completely nailed the development of a rookie quarterback, something that the New York Jets are going to have to do this year, the next year, or the year after that. unless they get very, very lucky in free agency, which would be more expensive. The way to build a team in the modern NFL is to draft a quarterback and win on that quarterback's rookie contract. That's what the New York Jets are going to try to emulate. So David Blough, if he comes in as the quarterback's coach for the New York Jets, we're hoping he can have a similar effect on the New York Jets that he had on the Washington Commanders. Although in this year's draft class, I know some quarterbacks are now moving up the boards. There is no Jaden Daniels. He had elite rushing ability that none of these guys have this year. And he also ran a pro style offense at LSU. That's something that the top quarterbacks also, a lot of these top quarterbacks that people are looking at, they don't run pro style offenses, and they're going to need time to adapt to the actual offenses in the NFL. Moving on to our final coach here, Chris Harris, not Chris Harris Jr., as Chris may have thought. Reading off his coaching history here, started in 2016 as the assistant defensive backs for the Chargers in 2016, where he stayed till 2019. Then he moved over also to the Washington Commanders. He was the DB's coach there from 2020 to 2022. And he is currently the Titans defensive backs coach starting in 2023 and, of course, 2024 as well. Now he is getting buzzed to be the next defensive backs coach for the New York Jets. If he came to the New York Jets, he would have the best group of defensive backs he's ever had in his career. This is someone who is clearly a name who is in high demand when it comes to defensive back coaching. He would be working with another former defensive backs coach with Stephen Wilkes, our defensive coordinator. So they would have a lot of chemistry there, hopefully. But what I know is we have great corners already. We have maybe the best slot corner in football in Michael Carter II. We have Sauce Gardner, who any given year, in fact, more often than not, 2 out of his 3 years in the NFL, has been the best corner in football. If you want to argue against me, you're just a hater. So he can always get back to that form that we know he's capable of. And we have a prime pick to pick up elite prospect in the draft, Will Johnson. So a lot of fun options for the New York Jets going here at defensive back should Chris Harris be the next coach.
Something I want to mention about Tanner Engstrand is that he just got passed over by the Detroit Lions as the OC. He was in the running. He was one of the finalists. And then the Lions ended up signing John Morton from the Broncos. So you have to imagine if he gets an OC offer, he's going to take it now thinking, well, the Lions didn't want me. Might as well go somewhere where I could be an offensive coordinator and be under a guy who I've worked with for a while now. So I would imagine that if he gets the offer, he'll certainly take the job. As you said, it'd be very fun to watch. I mean, look at the way Jared Goff's turned his career around being part of the Lions. You got a quarterback's coach right there. Absolute potential to be an elite offensive coordinator. I would love the idea. I mean, I just think you're absolutely right there, where it's like he is someone with high potential. He's never done it before, and I think him getting passed up by his own team in the Detroit Lions, definitely especially for you're going outside of the organization to get a new guy. I feel like, first of all, there's definitely a bit of worrisome why that happened and why the Lions didn't bring him in. But also, it's a bit of, now you have a guy who just got passed up. He might really, really want to take a job if it gets offered to him. I would guess at this point he's also the clear frontrunner for offensive coordinator. I mean, maybe David Blough wants to be the quarterback's coach for the Jets. It wouldn't be surprising. Chris Harris, same deal. I mean, with DBs, like, I guess that comes up partially to Steve Wilkes as well when it comes to Chris Harris, though, more than, and obviously it's Glenn's say, but Steve Wilkes is going to have a huge say in it, especially with how fast Steve Wilkes was hired. You know that Glenn is going to lean on him a lot with all of his past experience.
Exactly. I mean, Aaron Glenn, we've seen from all of his interviews that he's a big proprietor of community and a community feeling with the New York Jets. So he's certainly going to take his assistant coaches' wishes and thoughts into consideration when he's making coaching decisions going forwards. So we can expect, just like you said, Stephen Wilkes should be involved with the lower down coaching hires as far as the defense goes. David Blough, if you're worried about someone with only 1 year of coaching experience being our quarterback's coach, I would understand why you're afraid of that. But this happens all the time where a quarterback goes from the NFL and becomes a quarterback's coach. So it does happen a lot. This isn't anything out of the ordinary. So that's really nothing to be afraid of. And just like the bad head coach but good offensive coordinator situation, we can have a situation where David Blough can be a bad NFL quarterback, but he can still be a successful quarterback's coach in the NFL. So that is not a good enough reason to say this guy's not the guy. If you don't want David Blough at quarterback, at the quarterback's coach, you got to have another. The reason that the reason that I have to hear has to be I don't want him because this other name is a better coach, not just because he was a bad NFL quarterback.
Not Josh McCown. He's not going to accept that role with the Jets.
How about Josh Rosen?
The GOAT? Or who I thought was the GOAT.
Yeah. Talking about Woody Johnson and his want for flashes and love of social media, I wonder if he goes ask Ben Kurt from YouTube to come on and be the quarterback's coach for the New York Jets.
Maybe he asks us. Maybe Brick is just watching this video and he's like,
I mean, if he's talking about the Jet press, like that's crazy. Like that is not that big of an outlet.
No, I was talking about this on the last video I did where I was like, yeah, it's kind of interesting to see that a guy's just taking stuff from the Jet press. That's like, obviously no hate to the Jet press. Like, it'd be more absurd if they were taking it from Jets Digest, specifically from me, because I like say some stuff relating to the Jets, and then I just like call David Blough David Blough and just mispronounce names and just, I don't know, sometimes run away from the camera for no reason and just act like an idiot. But I mean, still, I'd be better than Brick Johnson at his job. Yeah, Brick! Go away.
Dude, we're coming for everyone's neck on this video.
Yeah, except for the Jet Press. Shout out to the Jet Press.
Oh, definitely shout out to the Jet Press. No, we're not talking trash. We're not talking trash about other Jets outlets when we have 2.5K on YouTube. We're not doing that.
2.5K more than this Knicks hat that I wear in those videos.
Yep, I knew you were going there.
So think about it that way, guys. Help us get more than 2.5K so Brick Johnson watches us on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Knicks. Go Jets!
Nope.
Not Knicks. Jets. Jets.
Yeah,
it was the
boo
Knicks.
Boo Knicks.
No.
Boo Knicks. Go Jets.
Nah. Have a great day, and go Knicks.